What's up, guys? Welcome back. So let's go over how to min-max your resistances. Super easy for the new upcoming season 2 with the brand new Uber bosses. This is going to be something that you may want to consider because, well, resistances are actually working in season 2. They fixed them. So starting right off, let's go over the important rules and how the resistances are going to work. So you can only have a base cap of 70. That means 70 is the maximum amount of resistance that you can get. This was taken from the campfire chat. And then on top of that, the next cap is 85. So the reason why there's two different caps here is because it is giving you plus maximum value of resistance. Now, is that going to be required for every single build to do just the base content? More than likely not. My guess is how this is designed is more so for people that want to maybe push to Sigil 100 or do the Uber bosses. You may need to pop a potion to increase this cap just for that specific boss. Maybe it does a lot of ice damage, so you need cold resistance. So consider that something that you don't have to get on every single build, but we're going to be able to get to 70% no problem with every single class with ease. So starting right off, let's go over the rules. So the -20 and -50 is going to be applying in World Tier 3 and 4. So if we add this together, we are going to need to get 145. That is the resistance number that we're actually trying to hit. The reason why it's 145 resistance is because we can take the number that we want to achieve, which is 70 resistance, right? That's the base cap. Then we're going to lose 25, and then we're going to also lose 50, assuming that we are going to get a total of -75 resistance. If we want to get 70 resistance, we are going to need to get 145. So that's where I'm getting that number from. So let's go ahead and go over how are we going to achieve all of these numbers with ease? And we'll even use some of the lower values here. So our goal, remember, is 145. So again, it goes to 70, but you can get to 85 with additional res. I'll show you guys how to get that cap as well. It's actually quite easy. They actually made an item that just gives you it basically. So starting right off, this part right here, you cannot mess this up. So every single character will be able to get these resistances. You literally cannot mess this up. Some of the other stuff will require rolls, or you're going to kind of need to like maybe build for them. But the important thing is some of these values have actually changed. I'm not going to go over what has exactly changed. I'm just going to tell you exactly the things that are important, because some of these things are kind of pointless to go ahead and mention, like certain like gems. They're making it so the number has changed, but I'm just going to tell you the ones that actually matter, because we're not going to go into single resistances for the gems, because just get all res. It's going to be much more simple for the math here. But if you do need to get one specific resistance higher for whatever reason, you can do that, but I'm going to show you guys how to max out with ease. So the easiest way is rings will always give you all resistance. So that is one thing that is actually being changed. Another thing I do have to mention really quick is armor will no longer give you resistance. It used to, but now how it works is on rings. We can go find where we have the resistance and the rings that they're mentioning. So all of the rings will always roll with resistances on them. Now that only goes to 10%. So we'll go over to where it's talking about the rings. And so rings will give you plus 10 for ancestral. We're only going to be kind of considering for this video, like min-maxing, you know, in World Tier 4. So on an ancestral item, rings will always give you plus all resistance and then plus a % to a single resistance. So it used to give you plus 2 single resistances. Now it has changed, and it's always going to give you all res and then plus to a 1 random other single resistance. So that's how we get the 10%. So that's a total of 20%. Then on top of that, we are going to get 15% off of diamonds. So that is going to be in our inventory here when we put in the diamonds. The new diamond, the new change, is the highest version will give you 5% to your resistances. So that's how we get that 15. And then the new amulet will give you 24% to your resistances over here. They mentioned amulet over here. Again, we're just counting ancestral because this is where it actually matters. So over here, it may say that we have 25, but again, this is going over what has actually changed. So that's how we get all of these numbers. So with those numbers in mind, you cannot mess this up. Every single build will have this at the end game. Okay, so where do we get our other resistances? So at the end game, you will get intelligence on every single character on the Paragon board. Even if your character is not intelligence based, you will still get intelligence, which is going to give you all res. Some classes, it may, like certain things may change. Like one area may give you like crit, and it will give you different things depending on the class you play. Certain attributes may give you different things. Like for example, on the sorceress, we're going to be getting way more. Same thing with the necromancer. The reason why I put these values 10 to 25, if you have 400 into intelligence, which again, every single character will pretty much get that on the Paragon, you're just gonna have to path out and you'll get about 400 without even trying. Like, you can literally not mess this up, because on the Paragon board, it's just gonna naturally give you pretty much that number. So at that value, we're looking at 10%. Now, if you're playing a class that is int based, which is gonna be the Necromancer as well as a Sorceress, you will get basically about 1,000 int, and 1,000 int will give you 25 to all resistance. And then this is where it depends on the build that you're playing. You can get anywhere from 15 to 35 on your Paragon. 15, if you're really not trying at all, you will just naturally get that. And the reason why is in most of the classes, there's in the very beginning, there's this like all resistance. There's a few other all resistance. I didn't even take them, but a lot of them in some sort of situation, you will be able to get a 3% resistance. And if you put it on your Paragon board where you meet the requirements for the bonus, you will get an additional 3%. Usually on average, there will be about 2 of these on most builds. Again, you're just going to end up pathing towards it. And before you hit the other node, it's going to require you to get another 1.5. So on average, you're pretty much just going to be getting 15 to 35. Don't worry if you don't hit this 15. Let's say you hit 12 or you hit 0. It doesn't matter. I'll show you guys how to get it. But on average, for most players, this is going to be the numbers that you will actually hit. So over here, with this, it's about 84% on the lowest values that we mentioned over here. Okay. So all you need to do if you want to get that 145, okay, because all we need to do is get 84 plus, if we just go ahead and do like the quick math over here. So all we need to do is do 84 minus 145. So if we take 145 and then we subtract the number, which is 84, we get 61. So why is that number important here? So all we need to do is get an additional 61 resistance to max out for all of our resistance. We're not even counting the ring's additional random resistance that it gives us that can be whatever element, because it's easier just to max out all your resistances. Before, I was trying to think about like, okay, we can put one in each slot, unnecessary. So all you have to do is get on every single piece of gear to have just one stat that has a resistance. So this is actually quite simple. So if you want to, you can get one piece of gear that has 4 resistances on it. With boots, you probably want to get movement speed, so I wouldn't put it on your boots. But on your chest piece, you're more than likely want to roll life on it. Anywhere in these categories. Right now, you cannot put resistances on pants, but in the update, they do allow pants to actually have resistances. So on a single piece of an ancestral item over here for resistance, we will be able to get up to 65% for our total resistances. That's again, for a single one, not all res. So what this means is you need to get 5 resistances, because in the game there's only 5 resistances. That's going to be fire, cold, lightning, poison, and shadow. So what we need to get is just each one of them. I just need to get a roll of 61, and remember that it can go up to, in terms of the max value, it goes up to 65 for the ancestral. So I don't know what the exact like range is on this, but it goes 48 for sacred and 65 for your ancestral. So those are the numbers that we're looking at. Again, if something rolls low, don't worry, your ring can actually fix this. So it's not like you need the perfect roll. Again, 61 is the number you're looking for. And so let's go ahead and go over that. So again, you can get 3 in one area and 2 on another. You can get 2 here, 2 here, and 1 here. It doesn't matter. The reason why I'm suggesting you guys to get it on your chest piece, your pants, as well as your boots is because gloves, you definitely want to get like lucky hit chance, attack speed, crit chance, and then plus ranks of whatever core skill. On your helmet, generally you're going to really want to get life and cooldown reduction, and this just kind of makes it a little bit easier to get, so your gear isn't super pressured to be absolutely perfect for the rolls. So I would suggest chest piece, unless you're running a unique. If you need a unique, then maybe one of the rolls in your helmet can be totally fine to have the resistances. Again, it depends on what build you're playing. Maybe you really want to run a very specific piece of gear and you need like penitent greaves. Okay, then just get your other, rolls somewhere else. Okay, but these are just the suggestions that I'm opening up because most builds, this is going to be ideal for your setup for your resistances. And then I already mentioned, 5 resistance over here, and then you're going to get 25 in your amulet. And then remember that the random elemental resistance or shadow or poison resistance, that's going to be in addition to your guaranteed 10% on your ring anyways when you get your resistances. So the next step that I want to go ahead and mention is how can we go above and beyond? So I've already showed you guys how to get to 145, which is basically what most people want. Now, if for whatever reason you still, maybe on the Paragon board, like you can't, you need every single point and you get like 0 over there. How can you fix your resistances? Okay, so there is on consumable, there is the Elixir of Magic Resist, which can give you 25. And then there's the Soothing Spices Incense, which will give you an additional 10. This is all additional, like beyond what you would need. There's also class-based ones in the tree. Ancestral Fortitude, really easy for the druid. Blade Shift for the rogue. Honestly, most people won't want to play this, but I'm just giving you guys all the info. On the Sorc, this is for sorceress. There's one node that will give you 6% regular and then 3% additional. The additional is the maximum resistance. This is the good one that gives you more than 70. So this can give you a total of 9%. So this is another thing I wanted to mention, because some people may think that, okay, well, I usually put skulls inside of my jewelry, and that would give me my extra armor. The thing is that since we're getting 925 item power, and we have 5 items anyways, the armor that you would normally get from your skulls in your jewelry does not matter, because you're gonna basically get even more from all 5 item slots being basically 200 higher, which will give you more than 750, which is the old value that you would get when you had like the highest skulls inside of your jewelry. So putting the all resist here, it just makes the math much easier and simple for most people that are just trying to cap out on the resistances. Now, if you want to go above and beyond and get higher resistances, this is how you can get to that 85%. So you can pop any elixir for 6% of whatever resistance. It also technically gives you 30 to a whatever resistance. So if you pop the one that gives you like cold resistance, it will give you 30 cold res plus an additional 6. The additional one, again, will let you go to that 85%. There's also the Soothing Spices Incense, which gives you +1 per player. You can get up to 4. And then Tacits of the Dawning Sky, which is a new unique pair of pants, can go up to 10%. So if you really want to min-max and get to even higher and beyond the normal numbers, that's how you would get to 85. But hopefully this video helped you guys out, and when the season starts, you'll be ready to go. And this way, you're totally fine on resistances. You don't have to worry at all about them. But if this video helped you guys out, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell so you can keep up to date on how to min-max in Diablo 4. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.